Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for returning. Today we are going to talk about something that's been bothering us for probably a number of weeks, and that is boredom. And today we are going to discuss how to deal with boredom and the best ways to do it. Let's go! So let's get right into it. Boredom is probably at the forefront of everyone's mind currently during lockdown. It's a massive thing that we have been challenged with and we're dealing with, because unfortunately everything has been stopped in our world, and it's quite hard to entertain ourselves, our children, our loved ones, etc. throughout this, well, very difficult period that we call in lockdown in the UK. It's been roughly probably about 10 weeks, maybe more, 12 weeks. And obviously some people have had no contact with anybody else apart from sort of on technology. And some people may not even have technology contact. So we really got to sort of try and figure out the best ways to figure out boredom. Let's get right into it. So boredom, are you trying to just keep yourself busy to try and stop yourself becoming bored? Or are you trying to be productive with your time in order to stop becoming bored? Because either way you look at it, there's busy and being productive, and then there's just busy potching and sort of wasting time or procrastinating. Because there's one clear way which I'll go on to about fixing boredom, and it'll actually give you that sense of accomplishment alongside, which is what we're trying to always create, that sort of growth and the self-growth and the self-love within ourselves. But I'll just ask you just quickly, is it busy or is it productive with your boredom? So one clear way on how to identify boredom. So when you're feeling like when you feel like you're bored, instead of going, I'm bored, and then doing all weird stuff, so instead of all that, we can actually picture it as an object. So the best way to sort of process it in your mind that you're actually feeling bored, and you can feel boredom building up in yourselves. So we can picture it as, I don't know, around me, lampshade. So you can be like, right, that is boredom. And you could be like, hey boredom, what do we do to avoid boredom? You know, you can recognize something, and then we can try and process it better, because you know that's boredom. And we need to try and avoid boredom because boredom's bad for us. So when we identify boredom, we can then break it down to, well, just break it down into the questions that we need to ask ourselves. So it's, why are we feeling bored? What is causing us to be bored? Is there anything we can do to stop the boredom? Is there anything we can do to avoid the boredom, the negative energies? If it is negative, I mean, some people might like being bored. But normally we become bored due to withdrawals. But I'll go on to that in a little bit. So it's more focusing on why we are bored and what is causing our boredom. What are we doing that we are now feeling bored? And we can apply this to every sort of emotion. So if you want to take like anger or sadness, I mean, you can identify it. So that lampshade can be anger or sadness or whatever else you want to do. And you can sort of be like, oh, hey, there you are. Why are you making me feel like this? What is in my body? And you can feel sort of the sadness building. You can feel the anger building up inside you. And you can actually process it in your mind then, that the fact that you can say, like, what is actually happening that is causing me to feel this way? What can I do to combat this? So it's the same with other emotions as well as boredom as well. But the principles are still lying the same. You're still asking yourself to break it down and basically dig a little bit deeper onto why you're feeling this way. So instead of feeling it in a negative energy and asking yourself like, oh man, I'm so bored. Like, why is this happening to me? Why am I bored? We need to try and flip it into, what can I learn from this boredom? Can I find anything great out of this boredom? You know, can I learn something myself? Can I go and do some research about something that I've always wondered why the sky is blue, or something, you know, silly? Just even if it's reading a book. So you've got the time through boredom, rather than to procrastinate and waste boredom sort of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, because I know a lot of people have just been scrolling and spent a lot of time on social medias throughout this lockdown. But this is probably when I'm going to go on to is the withdrawal symptoms from that, which is why we're getting bored. So we need to try and find something great or something rich and something empowering from motivating, really, more than anything, from this boredom. So we need to try and ask ourselves that question. So once we know why it's causing it, and then also why it's making us feel that way, can we then also try and find something great to counteract that feeling, the negative feeling, and turn it into a positive feeling? So the initial question of, can I find something great or can I learn something from this boredom, is instantly making it a positive thought and a positive action for you to carry out. So, as I said earlier, boredom is withdrawal. Withdrawal from doing something. Due to the lockdown, and like I said, it's been like 10, 12 weeks, maybe longer for some people. And I really do feel for you, because I've had the pleasure of working in the NHS. So I've been allowed to socialise somewhat throughout the lockdown. So it hasn't affected me as badly as some other people, but I do really empathise with you, because it's been awfully difficult throughout this time. But hang in there, it's not long and we'll get through it. But like I said, boredom is withdrawal. We've all had busy schedules, and when you think about your getting ready for work, taking the children to school, making lunch, cooking dinner when you get home, cooking, cleaning, doing the washing up, putting clothes on, sticking clothes on the line tumble dryer, sorting the kids out for food, doing their homework. There's all these like autopilot routines that we've got, and they're very busy routines. Everyone's got a busy life, and I understand that. And then to have it all sort of uplifted and being told, you can't go outside, you've got to stay in the house, you've got to self-isolate, you've got to stay 2 meters away from everybody, you can't go walking around the shops like you are sort of fancying what you want. You rather sort of got to go in there honed in and spend less time in the shops as you need to. All this upheaval is the withdrawal that we're experiencing from our general routines, which is then causing us boredom. So we're filling it with pretty much rubbish stuff, which is social media. So if you've ever tried just sitting in a room, meditating basically, sitting in a room, nothing at all, I just want to ask, how long can you do that without, moving, looking for something, or getting itchy and wanting to move? And the answer is probably less than 5 minutes. So it's because we get in the same withdrawal symptoms from that. We are addicted to our lifestyles, our busy schedules, and obviously social media, which we are filling our less busy schedules with now, with social media, because it's just the easy thing to do. So when we are having these withdrawal symptoms, and it's out of our control really with lockdown, what can we do to combat boredom? Like I said, firstly, you want to look at it as an object. So when you're feeling that boredom building, or the anger building, you can just sort of pick something in your surroundings. And like I said, I've just picked that lampshade because it's visible and you can see it as well. But it could be, if you're out and about, you could just be that tree, and you can see it, sort of like visualize it filling up with anger, and you need to sort of put a pause on it and pause on the boredom or anything like that, and just stop and think, why am I feeling like this? So that's the first point of like sort of combating it. So we got to try and identify what we need to do firstly, and why we're feeling this way. But in the process, firstly, we need to try and set a goal. That is the main sort of key. If you're really struggling with boredom in the house at the minute, we need to just set a goal. And that might be, cook dinner tonight. It could be look online for a course, do a little short course. It could be run 5K. So we need that first initial goal. Secondly, we need to blitz procrastination. And I know this is probably the worst one for boredom, because once you're in that boredom state, all you want to do is potch and be like, yeah, what can I do next? What can I do? And then you'll see, something on telly, and it could be 5 minutes left of a film, and be like, I really like that film, I want to see the ending. And it'll drag you away. So we need to blitz all that. Stop any sort of procrastination. Stop any sort of distractions that are coming around to you. That is very difficult, but I promise you it will aid you in your cure to boredom. Next, we need to create a plan. So the plan is more the direction. So once we've blitzed procrastination, we need to know how to get to our goal. And it could just be as simple as, like I said, cooking dinner tonight. We need to go shopping to get the ingredients, and we need to get home, start prep, blah, blah, blah. If it's 5K, it's need to, you know, I need to dress, I need to go up and go into sort of the micro details and really break it down so your brain can process it in that same sense. So you think like, right, I've got to put my clothes on, I've got to put my shoes on, I've got to go out the door, got to get my smartphone, I've got to put my tracker on. You know, if it's raining, I've got to make sure I bring a coat, etc. You know, they really put down all the steps, because that in sense will break down your boredom, because you're having to think about the processes that you will need to be doing. And obviously the plan will then give you direction in terms of how to get to your goal as well. So that's the main reasons, the first 3 steps anyway. Lastly then, just to finish off, is action. Go get it. Go get that goal. So we've got the goal, the initial point of the goal. We've got the procrastination blitz, so we're not getting distracted from our goal. So the procrastination blitz is over here. So we've got our goal, we've got our plan. Procrastination blitz is going all the way down here, so it's stopping everything getting in the way of our goal up here. And then we've got the action as well. So the action is, like I said, is the most important. You can plan and plan and plan and plan, but until you actually make that first step, which is the hardest step, believe it or not. So if you make that first step to that, it will take 5K. Until you actually put those trainers on and actually get outside the door and make that first step running, then you haven't made that step towards your goal. You haven't you've started your plan, but you need to try and follow it through. So lastly, like I said, it's action. No matter how big the goal is, how small the goal is, these steps will actually promote you getting your goal. And there's another video which I've done, which is getting goals quicker as well, which I'll put up in the cards here or in the end click. So it'll be a next video to watch. So once we get the goal down, and like I said, you know what you want. It doesn't matter how big it is. It could be a degree. So in the lockdown, you could just be like, I really want a degree. I really want to refocus my life. I want to go down this because I found it in lockdown. I found my true self, and it's made me realize that I want to do this in life. Then absolutely go through all the uni channels. Look at, you know, Open University, Cardiff University, Swansea. I mean, for South Wales. But obviously, if you're watching around the world, then look at your local universities, or look for a city that you really want to go and visit as well, and see if you can study the same course there. I mean, the plan then comes into it, the fact that how are you going to do it? So that would be your fundamentals and the main thing of what uni you're going to. Are they offering the course? Can you do it? What is going to change in your life to allow you to do that? And break it down in that sort of sense. So it doesn't matter even if it's as big as moving to a city for a degree, or whether it's actually just putting some trainers on and going out for a nice little 1 mile run. So it doesn't matter where we are, but it's important to sort of blitz that procrastination as well. Like I said, it's the hardest thing to do, because currently we're all in the state of, I'm really bored because we've been stuck in for so long, and I empathize with you greatly. But we got to try and keep our focus on the goal. If you really want to achieve it and you're really passionate about a goal, then you need to try and just blitz the procrastination and focus on it and get it done with the action and the plan. So the 4 points, which I'm going to lastly recap just so you can bullet point. So number 1 is set goal. Number 2 is blitz procrastination. Number 3 is write a plan. Number 4 is take action. So goal, blitz procrastination, plan, action. Get in, get it done. Job done. Right guys, that is all for today. I hope you will take these steps to hopefully manage your boredom in what's left of lockdown, and obviously carry them into the future as well, because I know sometimes I get bored and I have to write a new plan and I have to take action. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you don't mind, please hit the like button if you liked it. Comment as well, just let me know what you think, or if you have any other ways to combat boredom, then please let me know. And obviously I'll take all the information on board as well, because I'd love to see how you guys deal with boredom. And please, 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 if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell, and I will give you cookies and cream and anything else that's slightly delicious. But yes, please, and also I am trying to change some people's mindsets, or the world's mindset, just one day at a time, one person at a time, slowly. So if you don't mind, please, 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 can you share? And hopefully we will grow our community. Take care, see you soon.